Hello and welcome back. So in the last video I talked about how to measure body fat percentage. There was one way that I did not get a chance to mention, and that is through the use of calipers. You go to different sites and you measure. One thing with that, you will always have to have a person there with you. To do it for you. You cannot ever do that on your own. It's the easiest to mess up because you have to do it the exact same way every single time. If you pinch too much or too little, you'll get a wrong result, and then there's a formula to run, a few things like that. So that's the hardest of the ways to measure body fat. The simplest, cheapest way, as I talked about, was measuring inches. Now, one thing about this one, it can be messed up too. Same idea. You have to make sure you're measuring in about the same spot, or the same spot every single time that you do it. Or I should say spots, because you don't do it in just one area. One thing that's easier, though, there's no formula. You literally write down the numbers and watch how much loss or gain there is, and just keep track of how much loss or gain there is. There's no, okay, figure this and this out, and then we get to this body fat percentage. And with inches, you aren't measuring body fat percentage, you're just measuring what size the body is, period. It's a bit more like the BMI, but it's a little bit more valid of a measurement to determine if you're overweight or not, because it does take into account muscle mass. You can't use it to say, okay, I want to get to this inches, because there's nothing like that I've found, at least, out there. I will have try to get a spreadsheet out to go out when this video, or sometime between the last video and this video, that you could use to measure with, that will actually mention different sites to measure, everything like that. Make sure you're not pulling the measuring tape tight one time and not the other time. With everything, this is a big thing. No matter how you measure, you need to make sure that you're measuring at the same time of day, same day of the week, and if you are only doing it once a month, same day of the month. Basically, the idea is, as you go throughout the day, you end up, your body changes. Weight, everything changes about it. Same with throughout the week and between months. It is not recommended to weigh yourself in any shape or form every day. Any change you're getting day by day is simply body weight, especially if it's cheap. And it may be a little bit of fat, but you can fluctuate by a couple pounds a day in water weight, up to a couple pounds, depending on how much you're drinking or not drinking, everything else, plus meals, everything. So there's that. At the same time, and I just said you can fluctuate that much, a couple pounds in a day from water weight, but unless you're overweight, you don't want to be taking off more than a couple pounds a week. Now, if you find you're going up and down right within the same pounds, you need to make some changes to have it slowly, what you're losing slowly decrease. But if you lose too fast, you will put it back on. So those are some good things to start with. Another thing to be aware with diets, everything else, the more muscle you have, the more fat you will burn. So it's okay to focus on muscle and not on gaining muscle, and not necessarily losing fat at first, especially as long as your inches are decreasing or your body fat's decreasing. because in the long run that will actually increase your caloric need, and as long as you don't increase how much you're eating with that, you will begin losing fat over time. I hope that helps you, and let me know what diet you'd like to see information about on how to on them in the comments below, and I will try to look into them more. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.